Listen up, Rams Nation, because your quarterback just made history across the pond. And we need to talk about what this means for our playoff push right now. Matthew Stafford absolutely dominated in London, dropping 5 touchdown passes against the Jaguars in a statement 35-7 beatdown that has the rest of the league on notice. And this is exactly the kind of momentum we need, heading into the meat of our schedule. Let me tell you something, Rams faithful, this performance wasn't just about the numbers though. Those numbers are absolutely insane, because Stafford just set an NFL international game record with 5 touchdown tosses, and that's the kind of excellence we've come to expect from our Super Bowl winning Signal Corps. He spread the wealth like a true veteran, connecting with Cooper Kupp 3 times in the end zone and giving rookie Konata Mumphy and Terrence Ferguson their very first career touchdown receptions, which shows the depth and versatility of this offense. That's firing on all cylinders at exactly the right time in the season. But here's what separates champions from pretenders, and why Stafford is the leader we need right now. Because even after making history, crushing the Jaguars, he's not satisfied, and that hunger, that drive, that championship mentality is what's going to carry us deep into January. When reporters asked him about getting into rhythm early, our guy didn't just celebrate, he immediately started breaking down what needs improvement. And that's the mindset of a winner who knows that good isn't good enough when you're chasing another Lombardi trophy. Stafford broke it down perfectly, saying the offense moved the pocket early, got him on the edge where he could find his targets, and praised how all the tight ends stepped up big time, along with the receivers and running backs. Everybody getting involved in the action, which is exactly what makes this Rams offense so dangerous, because you can't key in on just one guy when we've got weapons everywhere. He was excited about where the offense is heading, but then dropped some real talk about that third quarter lull and those couple third down conversions they left on the field that could have kept drives alive. And that's the attention to detail that championship teams have. Now, some people might look at 271 total yards and think that's not explosive enough. But let me tell you why that doesn't matter at all. Because we put up 35 points on a playoff caliber team and completely dominated them on both sides of the ball. Stafford gave major props to the defense, saying they did a hell of a job getting the ball back when the offense had that little dip. And that complementary football is what wins champions, because when one side is struggling, the other side picks them up. And that's exactly what happened in London. The reality check from Stafford is actually a massive positive for this team, because we're sitting pretty at 5-2, right? Now in a much better position than last season when we were 3-4 through 7 weeks and still fighting to stay relevant. Our quarterback recognized there's still plenty to clean up and lots of areas where we can elevate our game. But the fact that we're finding ways to win games most of the time, while not even playing our best football yet, should terrify every other team in the NFC, because imagine what happens when we put it all together. Stafford called this a complete game, with the Wiz defense playing outstanding and the offense punching it in when they got into the red zone, which is absolutely crucial because red zone efficiency wins close playoff games. He talked about how the lead can really open up when both sides of the ball play off each other well. And that's exactly what we saw against Jacksonville, where the defense suffocated their offense, and our guys capitalized on those opportunities to blow the game wide open. Here's what makes this even better, Rams fans, because Stafford didn't even realize he'd set the international game record until after the fact, telling reporters he was locked in during the game. And that's the kind of focus and presence we need from our leader. He brushed it off, saying, "It's a cool thing, and we'll see how long it lasts." But that humble confidence is pure Stafford, because he's not worried about individual accolade. He's worried about team win and getting back to the Super Bowl. This was Stafford's 3rd time playing overseas, and he loves the atmosphere, loves how the fans embrace the game, and was just thrilled to come away with the win, because as he said, it makes that long flight home so much better. He completed 21 of 33 passes for 182 yards, which some critics might point to as pedestrian numbers. But those critics are missing the entire point, because he threw 5 touchdowns and managed the game perfectly, taking what the defense gave him and making the right decisions at the right time. The aggressive Jaguars defense tried to disrupt everything, But Stafford and the Rams battled through every challenge and found ways to score in the red zone, which has been an emphasis all season long. When you can go into the red zone and consistently come away with touchdowns instead of field goal, you're going to win a lot of football games, and that's exactly what we did in London, putting up 5 red zone trips and 5 red zone touchdowns. Now we've got a bye week coming at the perfect time for this team to rest up, heal some of those bumps and bruises that accumulate over the first 7 weeks, and come back even sharper for the stretch run. We face the Saints in week 9, and then we've got 3 straight games against teams with serious postseason aspirations, which means every single game from here on out is basically a playoff atmosphere, and that's when championship teams separate themselves from the pack. Stafford knows that those missed opportunities he mentioned could come back to haunt us in the playoff, because we've been there before. We've felt that pain of coming up just short, and this team isn't going to let that happen again. The fact that our quarterback is already thinking about January in October shows you the mentality of this locker room and why we're legitimate Super Bowl contenders right now. The offense has so many weapons, with Kupp looking like vintage Kupp, and these rookie receivers stepping up, making plays when their number's called, and the tight ends becoming major factors in the passing game. When you combine that with a Puka Nacua, who's been electric when healthy, and a running game that can control the clock, we've got everything you need to make a deep playoff run. But it's not just about the talent. It's about the execution and the mindset, and Stafford calling out that third quarter lull shows he's not going to accept anything less than excellence from this offense. He wants those third down conversions. He wants those sustained drives. He wants to keep the defense off the field and wear down opponent. And that's the recipe for success in November, December, and January, when the weather gets cold and games get tight. The defense deserves enormous credit too, because they absolutely dominated Jacksonville, holding them to just 7 points and constantly giving the ball back to the offense in great field position. When your defense plays like that, it takes so much pressure off the offense because, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to execute and take advantage of the opportunities presented. And that's exactly what Stafford did. This win puts us right in the thick of the playoff race, with a winning record and tons of momentum heading into the bye week, which is exactly where you want to be at this point in the season. Other teams are struggling with injuries, inconsistency, and drama, but the Rams are focused, locked in, and getting contributions from everybody on the roster, which is a beautiful thing to see. Stafford spreading the ball around to different receivers shows the evolution of this offense, because defenses can't just double-team one guy and shut us down anymore. When you've got 5 different touchdown scorers in one game, that's a nightmare for defensive coordinators trying to scheme against us, because where do you focus your attention when threats are coming from everywhere? The connection between Stafford and his receivers continues to grow stronger every single week, and that chemistry is going to be vital down the stretch when plays need to be made and games are on the line. These rookies getting their first career touchdowns builds their confidence, gives them valuable experience, and creates depth that championship teams absolutely must have when injuries inevitably happen. Looking at the bigger picture, this Rams team is built for a long playoff run with the elite quarterback who's been there and won it all, a defense that's playing lights out, and a coaching staff that knows how to push the right button. The fact that we're 5-2, while Stafford still thinks there's so much room for improvement, should excite every single person in Rams Nation, because our ceiling is incredibly high. The travel to London is tough, but this team handled it like professional and came out executing from the opening drive, which shows the mental toughness and preparation that separates good teams from great teams. When you can go across the ocean with the time change, adapt to different conditions, and still dominate, that says everything about the character and professionalism of this organization. Stafford's leadership cannot be overstated, because he's not just throwing touchdown passes, he's setting the tone for the entire team with his accountability, his work ethic, and his refusal to be satisfied with anything less than championship-level performance. When your quarterback has that mentality, it trickles down through the entire roster and creates a culture of excellence that shows up on Sunday The bye week gives us time to address those third-quarter issues Stafford mentioned and come back even more dangerous because Sean McVay is going to use this time to refine the game plan, fix the small mistakes, and get everybody on the same page. 2 weeks to prepare for the Saints means we're going to come out of that bye week looking sharp and ready to make a statement. This is the time of year when real contenders start separating themselves from pretenders. And the Rams are showing all the signs of a team that's ready to make noise in the playoff. We've got the quarterback, the weapon, the defense, the coaching, and most importantly, the mindset to go all the way and bring another championship back to Los Angeles. Don't miss a single moment of this incredible season because history is being made, and this Rams team is special. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, hit that like button, and drop a comment below because I want to hear from Ram Nation right now. Quick question for you all after watching Stafford make history in London. What excites you more about this team going forward? Option A, their offensive firepower and ability to score from anywhere on the field. Or option B, their defensive dominance and ability to shut down opponents. Let me know in the comments below, and let's keep this Rams hype train rolling all the way to the Super Bowl.